Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the Ascension of Jesus, Ascension Sunday, or it is for the 7th Sunday of Easter. And so, lots of stuff running through my head, trying to figure out, all right, so how do you do a children's sermon on the Ascension? So there's a magic trick that I usually do to help get the attention, if you will. So rubber band, paper clip, and let's I'll get this set up right. Okay, rubber band. There we are. Rubber band paper clip. And now if you watch closely, you'll start to see, let me move it here. The paper clip is moving up. The rubber band. Pretty cool, huh? You can do that again and again, but the rubber band, the paper clip slowly walks up the rubber band. Now, not going to use that as a way of talking about Jesus taking that great escalator to the sky, or some of the paintings that we see where it's got the Ascension paintings where we see the little toes hanging down here like this. Not going to do that. But I am going to talk about that when you see something like this, like I see this, when I first saw this magic trick, I told someone about it. I was a witness. I saw this, and I'm like, you've got to see this. This is really cool. Like, let's say you go on a family vacation, and you go to the Grand Canyon. You can't help but talk about what you've seen, because that is so grand and massive and beautiful and a work of God. In the Ascension text, we have the line, and you are witnesses to these things. And there's power in that line. Power in that verse, we are witnesses to these things. And when we witness God's love and God's action, however it looks like, we have to tell it. The song, I love to tell the story. It just bubbles up in us, and we have to tell the story because of what we witness. So that's one direction I'm going, using that line, that we are witnesses, and you are witnesses to these things. Let me show you how this trick is done, and then I'm going to go on to the second part of what. So again, with this, and it happens slowly. As it moves up. What I'm doing takes a little bit of practice, but it's very easy. It's a trick you can learn in any library book or the back of a cereal box, but we'll do it this way. So I've got notice how I have about an inch or 2 inches of rubber band on this side. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly letting go of this rubber band, letting it slide through the fingers, and the rubber band is working, the traction of the rubber band is grabbing the paper clip and bringing it along with me. Notice the inches are getting shorter as that rides up. You don't want to do that. You don't want to let go of it. But you're using the quality and the gift of the rubber band. You stretch it out to hold it there, and then as you let go here, the rubber band is coming back like this, but they don't see that. It's happening as you let go of this, and you don't see, and it rides up. All right, if you have questions about that, send me an email, make a comment, and I can explain a little bit more. But it's fairly simple using equality, and it's just a neat thing. You know, you can talk about that Jesus was, you don't know how it happened, but Jesus was brought up into heaven. But really, then go, you know what? When I first saw this done, I had to tell someone about it, and so that's that. The other direction, and this ties into the 7th Sunday of Easter. You can, if you're doing Ascension Sunday, it can still tie into this. I'm looking at this idea of a cliffhanger. You know, the idea that you get done, and Cowboy Bob is on the end of the rope, and the cows are going towards the cliff, and then tune in next time to find out if the cows have been saved. You know, the cliffhanger. And this is, I guess, that story is a little bit more literal for a cliffhanger, but the idea that something happens here, and then the next time we talk the story, something else is happening, but it's the same story, it's the same God. This gets here, Jesus ascends, goes up into heaven. How? We don't know. But Jesus ascends into heaven, and it's like the cliffhanger. When we come back and we are at the day of Pentecost and the Spirit comes, it's the same God, it's Christ present in, with, and around us, and it's the same story. Find out what happens! And sometimes we treat Pentecost, we treat that week in between as a whole different story, but it's still part of the same story, it's part of the same thread. Which reminds me, we're going to do, it's a second trick, and I could shut this off and just do it, but here we are, second trick, and this is actually, works really well for this conversation, and I've done this a couple of times in the Dollar Store Children's Sermons, so if you have been following this for a while, you might recognize this, but if not, anyway. All right, so two strings, and we treat, sometimes we treat the Easter, we've been in the Easter season, we treat that as one way, and then we get, so that could be this string here, over here, sorry, let me get it into camera, so that it could be this string, we treat this as Easter, that's one, and then over here, we treat this as Pentecost season, and that they're two completely different parts of the church. There's Easter, we deal with Jesus, and the rest of the time we deal with the church, and we know that when we look at it, we know that actually it is one story, it is one salvation, it is one God, it is working in, with, and around us for that beauty. All right, so the way this one is done, Dollar Tree's got twine, and you need twine, you need something that's got about 5 strings in it, and that Dollar Tree works great. You can also get it at Joann's or Michael's, but at the Dollar Tree it's $1. They're made up of 5 strands. If you pull like 2 strands over to the side like this, and a couple of the other strands, let me start over. There we are. Okay, like that, 2 and 3. It doesn't, but you need 2 or 3, and then you twist them together, and you just go they want to twist one way, and just keep twisting them that way, like that. And it looks, I mean, it actually looks like it looks like it's 2 ropes together. They maybe cross over, but you can hold it like that. You can hold it like I was holding it, like this. But the fact is that since there are 2 strings here, 2 ends here, and 2 ends here, there's the assumption that it's 2 strings. You put it in your hand, and in your hand, when you pull it, when you pull it, it just goes back to looking like one. So there we are. This has gone on way too long, but there's lots of ideas that you can go with. Hopefully you get a springboard for your own thinking. Some great simple tricks that you can do anywhere. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks for stopping by.